Okay, so I started to do some research into Danny's dad's church in Rivers, Michigan, which is called Riverside Church. His dad's name is Paul Bucco. So, back in the day, 2011, 2012, also trigger warning, there is descriptions of SA, and which is very interesting considering what we're seeing with Danny. So, there was a teen girl who was 15 and a youth pastor who was 45 years old around 2011, 2012. And so, uh, allegedly, because it has not been proven in a court of law, he started grooming her. And that progressed over the course of time to many different things that were obviously illegal and wrong. And so, years later, she decided to report it, and she shared that with the church. Now, the man was removed from being a youth pastor, but the church also supposedly said that they were going to report it to the police. From everything that the police have, they did not do so. The girl went with a woman who attended the church, but who was not an employee of the church. The woman that went with her to the police department says that the church said that she was working on their behalf, and that's why she went with her, and she says that was not the case. So there's actually no evidence, according to the police, in the news article that I'm reading or that I read, that the church themselves took any action that they said they were going to. All that they did was, it sounds like, sweep it under the rug by, again, not letting him be a youth pastor. But it says that he was still allowed to take part in online church services, and I'm not sure in what other capacity. So this woman now has come forward with her story, and Danny's father, as the senior pastor at the church, has had to release a statement, and he said in that statement that he has to take accountability for anything that was not done correctly as the senior pastor of the church, but he does not really specify what was done incorrectly. And as well, he when this the woman came out initially, he did say, and this is a quotation that was used in the news article, he said to the church, don't believe everything you read. So essentially throwing shade, it seems like, on the accuser. So seeing how Danny behaves, I do think it's interesting to start to get a little bit of a picture of the culture he came from, because again, church is very popular in the United States. It's popular in Canada still, and the kind of behaviors that are allowed and how power oppresses certain people and other people who are allowed to do stuff. And this might also be an indication of why Danny is so quick to minimize and sweep under the rug, and why he chose a partner in Nia who's so quick to sweep under the rug his actions and the accurate description of his actions, and his continuing action of getting absolutely obliterated while drunk, and then speaking to his wife and other people in a really, really disrespectful, cruel way, and as well flipping, crying, talking about how he's traumatized by the reaction to his behavior rather than being able to see that he's the one that did the harm and continues to do harm, and that's why people don't like him and don't like me as enabling behavior. It's not that he is not the one being harmed the most. So yeah, also, if you do go look, you can find a lot. I don't have Facebook, but you can still see a lot without even having Facebook, of his mom, his dad, his family. And so that's very interesting for, again, getting a picture of how does a human who acts like this and treats his wife this way, who also claims to be such a godly man, and they accuse everyone else of being terrible people. Where does he come from? How is this kind of a person grown? And how can we change getting so many people like this in our society? Because I do think they oppress women.